Bob and Bella are being too cute this morning. So many kisses to go around. Now, we know how well behaved our little Bob and Bella are, and that is largely due to the efforts of Ansie. Thank you so much for joining us, as you do every week, to give us a little master class. So what if you sit on the other side of that coin and your dog isn't as beautifully behaved as our beautiful pooches? He barks and he pulls on the lead. We have been teaching you how to walk your dog in the most effective way. Good morning, Bells. So now, what do we do if you do have a dog that does lunge a lot and barks a lot on the leash? We've seen a different kind of almost behavioral pattern coming out when a dog is on the leash with you. Where do we start?
Your dog is lunging out and barking because it's been triggered by something that it is not comfortable with, whether it's an aggressive thing, a fear thing. That's something you probably want to call a behaviorist in for. But the fact remains that there is a trigger point which you kind of need to deal with and work with and try to sort out down the line.
You can see Bob's like, oh, my life, my trigger points. If you knew the half of it.
Nothing triggered him, except maybe treats. So while you're working on those trigger points to try and effectively solve or control it, you still need to take your dog for a walk.
Yeah.
So you've got this whole lunging thing and barking out thing, and it's very embarrassing for most owners, and they don't do well.
It can also be quite disruptive if you're taking your dog to a public place, to a promenade or something like that. You need to be socially aware as well.
It's so sad because the dog invariably is such absolute honey under all other circumstances, and suddenly it turns into this demon, the poor owner. So the first thing I want to suggest is, whatever the trigger is, be it a bicycle, a skateboard, another dog, a human being, try to, first of all, remain calm, okay? Because the minute you tense up, what's going to happen is you're going to pull on the leash. That tension, like Bella immediately lifted her head there, will go to the dog, and he'll start to be on alert mode, and where there might not have been an issue in the first place, there now is an issue, okay? After remaining calm, you want to be aware of maybe avoiding the situation. So if you guys are walking towards one another down the path, maybe do a slight rounded detour and avoid the situation. The other thing you can be aware of is training devices as such. If your dog is very ball motivated, voila, there we go, then you can actually squeak the little ball when the trigger factor comes head on. Squeak the little ball, say something stupid like, "It's the Candyman," and do your little detour path, and before you know it, you're actually working on the problem, because you are associating this happy thing with that not so happy thing, and eventually the two are the same. Unhappy thing becomes happy thing. It's all associated. If your dog's more treat motivated, then take your little pouch with your little treats in there and do exactly the same thing. It's the Candyman!
So
Yay!
it's a short circuit that
treat.
moment before it arrives.
Absolutely. Everybody will think you're half crazy, but you'll have a good, happy dog down the line. So other training aids that you can use is for walking a dog is, if you go for a collar like this, for example, which when you do slightly jerk it to get their focus, it means they can't pull out of it.
Okay.
And that's the main thing. The dog's not going to get away. Okay. Plus, you've got a little bit of a choke effect there, which is very, very handy. The other thing for lunging out that you can get is, it's called a halty. Now, what happens is this goes around the dog's nose. The leash affixes on there, and that clicks into there behind the ears. So now what happens is, when you pull on the leash, you're physically turning the face of the dog away, and the shoulder collapses. So that pulling power, which is like demon-like, is actually collapses with the shoulder. So a halty can also be a useful aid to help you in a dog that does tend to lunge out at various trigger points.
Okay, so lastly, wrapping up, what must we remember? What is the one watchword you can give people who are struggling with a dog that's a little boisterous or over the top? Yes.
I just also want to add this. Bella's working, who's got a contraption on, okay? This was designed for pulling.
Okay.
So if you've got a dog that pulls, please don't put one of these on. They're actually better off for little puppies, where the owners might just hurt their necks by pulling
it's more from
and
a
don't
safety
know any
perspective.
better.
Okay.
So yes, so you definitely don't want to wear one of those. So advice: stay calm, be in the moment. If you've got your earphones on and everything's
Just
happy,
be aware,
and
yeah.
you have no idea that there's a loose dog charging down on you because you're happily ensconced in this little world, try and be in the moment, be aware, be that one step ahead, anticipate. You've got a dog that does have a little bit of an issue, so be there for him and enjoy yourself.
Okay, and then if you are not able to curb the behaviour, get an animal behaviourist in there to obviously assess the situation. I'm getting such a look of approval from our Bella. Ansie, thank you so much, dear. We are learning a huge amount. I was about to say that I think you're becoming a victim of your own success. Every time you try to get Bella or Bob to misbehave, they just won't do it anymore. Thank you so much, and let us know what you think of our beautiful pooches on our Facebook page, and if you've got any specific questions that you'd like us